Welcome to this week's Acca podcast, sponsored by Sky Bet. Acca frees Tom, Joe and Jimmy with you to run through the schedule. Coming up on this episode then, we debate about multiple teams, despite the fact this schedule is slimmer because of the FA Cup before we eventually settle on a treble, or threefold, as it's more commonly known, at a price of 14-1. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to ensure that you never miss an episode, and remember, to keep it fun, never bet more you can afford. This podcast is 18+. Please gamble responsibly. Let's start by looking back on last week's 25-1 so we can get it out of the way with idiot Bournemouth getting a man sent off early, screwed that, idiot Leyton Orient throwing it away, and idiot Wickham not winning. Apart from that, very good Acca. Very, very good. So close.
So close. It was one of them where it shaped up at the start and you're thinking this has got a real chance, you know. One of them, wasn't it? For about how long? We were 18 minutes until...
It looked good. I was checking on my phone when I was out and about football. Checking on my phone, thought, hey, this looks good. It was not good.
Furious at Orient. They really screwed the pooch, didn't they? They actually played brilliant first half. Penalty and something else happened. Lost. Nowhere near. What can you do?
Never mind.
Pick winners, maybe.
Maybe pick winners, yeah. Maybe pick 5 winning teams. I went to York Halifax on Saturday. And
Why?
Just something to do. And we, I think, saw 2 goals in the first 90 seconds, both were Halifax goals. The first 2 attacks, and then the entire game was then York trying to furiously scramble their way back into the game. Didn't happen. My first visit to the... Well, they got 2-2, but they need to win.
That's them scrambling back into the
They
game.
need to win the game. They're trying to win the title here. Drawing it home to Halifax is not how you do that, my friend.
Title's gone, my friend.
Yeah, they've royally messed that one up. They did bounce back in midweek. I went to the LNER Community Stadium for the first time, and I like to be positive about trips to non-league clubs.
Can't be positive about that.
Worst ground in the country.
What have they done?
Awful ground. Could go lovely old ground in Booth and Crescent, which obviously, you know,
Best.
needed a touch-up. Fine. To go to that... Right, you're walking into the terracing. I'm walking past people fucking swimming, having a little family swim. So we walk through a leisure centre. It's miles away from anywhere, right? The only redeeming factor it's got is the M&S food all across the way is very good. I will give them that.
How good are M&S snacks?
Brilliant.
Second to none.
Second to none. That was the only positive. Worst ground in the country. Yeah. It's a terrible ground to watch football in. Whoever, architects-wise... Consider where the sun is. That's what I'm going to say. You know, the sun always follows the same pattern, doesn't it?
It's not sky in it.
It doesn't move, as far as I can tell. Well, it does, but in one direction. Don't put your main stand and the dugouts facing into that sun when you're going to be playing games in the daytime. Blinded all game. So I've had to go miles away.
Who you cross at here? The sun?
So I'm across at the architects, the whole design.
This is great.
Just everyone involved, because it's just terrible all round. Well done.
To get back to the sun, doesn't its position in the sky change with the seasons? So,
I don't think so.
like the height it is in the sky, yeah. Because in winter you've always you'll know it because you sit in cars. You always have it in your face. It's nowhere.
You'll know it. You'll know it because of fishing, won't you?
You'll know it because of cars. Yeah. Well,
But
it's more the moon.
It still goes.
Moon
It
cycle.
still goes on the same path, effectively, doesn't
But
it?
it doesn't really. Well, yeah.
It does, because it follows the same thing.
Not
Effectively-
relative to your position on Earth, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, if you...
One day it might look like there, and then it goes.
Why would it when Earth's flat?
Is it? I don't know. Well, I've never seen it.
He has played for Southampton, to be fair to him. What I'm saying is, if you're building a football stadium, you know the sun's always roughly going to go like that.
Yeah, I am with you.
Don't put your fucking main stand, next to a swimming pool and some leisure centre that's built into a Cineworld complex. I mean, it's basically a retail park. What the hell is this?
I'm really glad that
Don't face it into the sun, please.
began with this rant
Idiots.
because the first question I was going to ask, if he didn't actually include it, was how was your experience at the ground? Because I've already heard it, not to that degree, to be honest, once this week, but it is a shame.
It's the worst ground in the country. Its redeeming factors is that it's a great drinking city, York.
Yeah. Well, that's the sickening part. Did you go to the old ground?
Yeah, oh yeah. You
Right,
can walk.
slap
You can
bang in the
walk to
middle.
the old ground. This.
How good was
We
it?
managed to get an Uber there. We had to walk back because there were no obviously that would pick up, would there? It's 40 minutes.
You did
45 minutes.
8 miles walking, didn't you?
Oh God, yeah. I think when we look back at it, yeah, it was about that.
As
What
I,
we saw
as
was
I
the Sam
explained
Smith's
to
one, so I did redeem it a little
Tom and Jimmy earlier in this week, I don't know the inner workings of how non-league clubs end up at poorer locations in every city in the country, but I do know at York it was all a bit of a weird deal. They used to have that great little ground at Bootham Crescent. If anybody listening has been there, it really was proper, not even non-league ground when they're in League Two. It was quality, really great little atmosphere. Then there's some strange little deal that went on involving the rugby league club and the council. So they ended up playing at an athletics stadium, which is like out of the city, really not great, by where there's a swimming pool and a retail park. So they've had to just force a football ground into there, rip up the running track, move that to the university, tear down a brilliant little football ground for housing or a supermarket, I don't even know.
Housing, I think.
But real shame when that happens.
It's a damning sign of where this game is going, the busiest bar around the ground, having walked past it on the way back. 3 deep at the bar they were at Hollywood Bowl. So the game has truly gone. We are never getting our game. This is what they want. This is what the game wants.
It's really annoying though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Seriously.
I don't mind new stadiums, right? I
Only
think...
one good one.
Who's Tottenham?
Tottenham's. That's the only good one I've
I
been
will
to.
say, actually, I think
The only good one I've
I think Everton's new ground. I loved Goodison Park, right? Goodison Park, one of the best. Everton's new ground, I think people are bashing it for the sake of bashing a new stadium.
I haven't seen
It's
bashing.
it's very steep. So I think when it's
Like the
full
steepness.
and stuff like that, it's going to be really good in there, and it's a lovely exterior, nice location, and stuff like that. If you have to move grounds, okay, do it like that.
The booing's going to be
The acoustics on the booing. I mean, in true Everton fashion, to get chinned in an under-18s game in their first game. That's how they do
One
it.
of them he threw up.
Oh, the
goal
6
scorer.
thing. I don't get that. Is it? How many
It's
times?
Liverpool 6 European Cups.
Maybe.
Is it?
That would make sense.
This
Yeah, it's got to be. It's on the Champions League badge.
this could really like be a podcast of itself, couldn't it? Because like where we're drawing the line on like new ground, old ground, very much depends on your age, doesn't it? But like Huddersfield's in like my world, like that still feels like it's quite a new ground.
That's what I'm talking about. The new
But
build.
like Huddersfield's, I think is pretty good. They've done a decent job.
Oh.
Yeah, they've done a good job. A good stadium, good atmosphere. It's not like
At least it's unique. It's not the
not like
flat-back
miles out of town.
starter.
But the ones
British
like
ground.
Donny,
Doncaster Rovers'
Chesterfield.
stadium is the same as Shrewsbury's, but they just don't have the
Shrewsbury.
corners filled in effectively.
yeah, all
It's just
those
Stand.
terrible.
Stand. Terrible
it's like-
location.
Wimbledon's really good.
Yeah.
Great location. Got them back into where they wanted to be playing. So there are examples of good ones. But I mean, we really could go. Maybe we should at some point.
Who cares anymore about Acca building?
Yeah.
Just do this. Just remember. People like to remember stuff, don't they? That's
Yeah.
what you see from the internet. Hey, do you remember when it was good in the good old days?
Remember this?
Who remembers bin men? And everyone goes, I remember bin men. There's still fucking bin men outside. I don't know what you...
Do you remember
Everything
Oldham?
melts into one for me as well because I can't remember whether we did end up getting asked for the TikTok about like favourite grounds or whether it was just something we talked about in the office.
feel like he's done it before.
But can't remember what I told him.
I'm going to a new ground this weekend, actually.
Are you going?
Kicking it off. Well, it's not officially called Lofters Road anymore, is it?
You can call it that, mate. On this, no one's
You've
gonna,
never been?
No one's going to find.
Never been.
I've said before, that is one of my favourite grounds in the country. It's so good.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, you feel like you're on top of the pitch.
Pub list, dinner. I'll do that tomorrow.
Make sure you do, yeah. I've got to go to the train station after this, actually, and get my manual tickets. £127
Oh man,
for a return to London.
You just do any time return.
Yeah, I might try and do the split save, try and get a deal when I'm there, because my mate's got it like 100.
Well, you've already bought your tickets.
I haven't.
how much is the fine?
Don't go to the fucking station and buy it. You lunatic. Go online.
Yeah, but I haven't got anything to take to have them.
You've not got,
Online.
you've not got a debit card.
What are you talking about
You
now?
can buy them online, and you can collect them at the station.
Oh, is that a better way to do it?
Don't turn up. God no.
No, I was going to go
Cowboys.
after the show and get them in advance, but at the station. But you're saying buy them online and then go to the station?
I wouldn't trust them at all. I don't trust.
Slippery bug is
Good
them.
life. Don't trust anyone involved in the trains. Don't trust
he's
any of
such a
them.
weird little man, isn't he? Because it's like
That little felt passive aggressive.
He's
Was
like-
that necessary?
I'm sorry. Did you want to go and have a nice time, Jimmy? You freak.
in some ways,
weird
it's like
little freak.
having to look after your little brother, but then in other ways, it's like having to look after your granddad.
Yeah.
Having to explain things like that. I've never
Little
met
freak
anybody.
brother granddad.
Never met anybody like it in my life.
Why are you going to QPR? Sorry. Who's playing down at QPR?
Sheffield United.
Oh, they big game.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I'm just watching some football. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I just. Sorry, mate.
Deja vu.
I didn't know my sound was on. Let me just try and turn this on.
Kill me now.
Oh,
How
sorry
gracious
about
was Wilder after that?
Yeah,
Weren't he gracious?
It's weird. It's like it's. I don't know how to compare it to, but it is. He was very nice about Leeds earlier in the season. Very nice again. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
He
unsettling,
did have a little dig, didn't he? You know, kept the fans quiet for some.
yeah, didn't you?
Which I like. That was the best part.
When do we
man. I like it.
When do we get an extra point for that? By the way,
I think it comes at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, when they do all the admin and stuff like that. They do.
Keeping the away fans, quiet for an hour. 1 point.
You'll never sing that. And ironically, they wouldn't have because they were quiet.
Has Wilder ever been bad about Leeds? Ever really slagged them off? Or
Yeah, you know, he's been very diplomatic about it.
He is.
Give him a few shandies when they go up.
He has
He's gonna have another pop, isn't he?
He's a very pragmatic manager.
Yeah.
He's got his eye on. Oh, I could manage Leeds in the future. I don't want to say anything bad that is going to make Leeds fans dislike me more than they probably already do.
I thought you were doing a bit then.
Yeah, I thought
you were doing a bit.
No.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! He'll be trying to repair
not
old ground
remember
because
when we
Leeds
went
fans
up?
hate him already.
Do you not remember when we went up?
Oh shit! Yeah, I do now.
And Muppets from Leeds. After he had a prony in his hand.
Oh yeah, he's done any.
I like as
Yeah, he
well
has
how you could tell he was going to do the entire squad and they could only think of Patrick Bamford and then just moved on. Bamford.
Yeah, I had to.
And, you know.
And then move a lot.
I spoke to Jimmy after he didn't surface for literally 48 hours after that result. Spoke to him yesterday afternoon. I was telling him that when I had a really bad back on Monday, I had to go home from work and I went to bed and it was 1-0 to Sheffield United still, and I couldn't stay up because I'd taken painkillers, and I got up in the morning. Bad to see because I just knew that I was going to have millions and millions of messages, and these were most of the messages that I got, all to do with this.
I love that.
The Chris Wilder ham and cucumber thing.
I've never seen such a healthy timeline.
I literally had forgotten that he slagged off Leeds when he was drunk like that.
Yeah,
Silly me.
Good to see Leeds live in the flesh, to be honest.
yeah.
Not the same watching them on telly, is it?
Good team, aren't they?
You are good. You are good. You are good. Yeah.
Imagine if they had a goalkeeper who didn't just drop the ball for no real reason.
I meant to ask you about that. Why can you not just play other lad, Darlow? Is it Darlow? Surely it's got to be
I think
worth it.
we will actually get onto this week at some point, but I think pushing it into his own net has disguised the fact. What was it? Cannon? Was it Tom Cannon? What the hell was that finish?
Oh, our first goal?
Yeah,
Campbell. Yeah.
Tyrese Campbell.
Whoever it was in front who just
Campbell.
booted it across the line at the keeper who's then parried it in. It would have been much easier just to go, I'm going to kick it forwards into this goal
It was
right
Campbell
here.
headed it, back stick. He's headed it against the post.
And then whoever the striker following
It
in.
was a shocking
But
miss.
it was one of them where you're like,
Yeah, it's just happened in slow motion. And it's taken everyone a minute to go as the ball's hit the net. All right, it has gone in. There we go. Can't celebrate it.
Yeah. Funny old game.
I can give you an easy segue into the actual Acca.
Oh, yes, let's do it. Is it because you're going to back Sheffield United 11-8 at QPR?
That game that he's going to, I don't actually have it on my list, but it was close to being on my
Why are they
short
such a
list.
big price all the time?
QPR's home form.
They were not. No, I mean, just generally, they were 16-5 to beat Leeds. Obviously, it didn't happen. We spoke before when they went to Luton, they were like 11-8 or something, weren't they, Blades? I'm not saying have them. I'm just in general, it's just, again, this has happened this weekend.
It's whiff of the old Ipswich promotion. How do they keep getting away with it? Own goal again. How have they won again? They've got to be one of the worst teams to go up if they end up going up. How are they top two every week? We're crap against Luton.
Yeah.
All right against you. All right against Borough. Crap against Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Crap against Hull. And we've just got, it's like we've got enough star quality, and I will call it that because some of the players we've got for the level are unbelievable.
Very good, yeah.
Just to coast by, not even coast by, get away with it, I'd say. But the only thing I would say about this game in isolation is Wilder was, would you say diplomatic after the Leeds game? Gracious? What's the
He
word?
basically just went, we're not as good
Reflective,
as them.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
We're not as good as
Very
them.
reflective.
Fair enough. We move on, sort of.
What he's usually good at is getting a reaction after a defeat eventually. So we might see one of them, but I won't be in a hurry to get United on
they've lost to
side.
Sheffield Wednesday, so they don't like playing teams today from Sheffield QPR.
No,
That's the one thing
I saw
against
that.
them.
I thought the opposite. I thought We
Need a
lose to
result.
him. We lose to him, and all Wednesday fans going, "Hey, winning at Loftus Road ain't for everyone, is it?"
1.1k likes. Into retweets. Where do you want to go this week? Let's actually get into building it. Who would like to kick us off? I'm happy to throw it open. It is the FA Cup as well, but there is only one FA Cup game.
Is it worth looking at?
I'm with Jimmy for that game, just to draw a line through it. Then it's I think QPR fine margins they've been on the wrong side of. Sheffield United fine margins they're on the right side of at the minute. Very hard game to call. FA Cup, I think it's a really easy one that I'll get straight into. Bournemouth to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Don't know why I've gone for the full name. Do you know why I have? Because I've got the screenshot of the bet slip here in front and it says Wolverhampton. It really threw me off. They're a much bigger price than they were to beat them 2 weeks ago when we had them in the Acca. It's really simple for me. Like, we backed them then at a shorter price. They played really well against Brighton. Fabulous game that in midweek. If anybody watched it, probably the game of midweek could have ended in any of the three results. For that match as well, Bournemouth had one fit centre half. They played a right back at centre back. Then they played Lewis Cook at right back. They'll have proper centre backs back for this game because obviously they had the sending off in the game against Wolves 2 weeks ago. And then they're likely to have at least two of their three right backs that were out injured back available to actually play right back as well.
I was sceptical, but then when you said they've got two of three right backs available, get it in.
Structure goes back.
Yeah, so it's just a very straightforward one for me.
Question:
4 to 5.
Andreas Iriola, does he like this competition?
Andoni.
Who? You were going to go for Andreas Iniesta, weren't you?
Maybe. Gaffer.
Well, he has made changes. We made this point when this was made on the podcast when they went to Everton, wasn't it, in the last round? He keeps a really good spine to the team. But at this stage, what are you giggling about?
Well, if you don't have a good spine, you're just going to be like a jelly blob blobbing around the pitch, aren't you?
Well, in football terms, yes. But he's created that. We're also at a stage of, for Bournemouth, they've now lost 2 in a row, one of which was against Wolves, but again, there was a red card, wasn't there? So, that plays a factor to it. Are you so deep into the competition now? Bournemouth have never won a major trophy, ever. They've never won anything of significant note. You're now at a point where you're looking and going, some big hitters have already gone. There's an opportunity here to actually go on and do this. You go as strong as possible, surely, at this point. And even then, if he does make a couple of changes, okay. But is this a game where, say, Evan Nielsen starts again now as he returns from injury? He came off the bench in midweek. Is this a chance to get their starting striker back? Is it basically now just a case of we go as strong as possible, we try and win a home game against an opponent that, yes, we lost to recently, but we know we can beat, and a cup competition is something now we're at a point where we can actually target?
And even if they do make some changes, Wolves are in exactly the same position. They're in a relegation fight in the Premier League. So
no. Realistically, though.
No, but they are.
Much better for the pick if Ipswich held on.
They're both teams are going into it in the same situation. Arguably, more tricky for Wolves because they're definitely not going to be thinking, yeah, we're fine, those three being relegated when the manager's making his selection decisions. So I wouldn't have concerns over Bournemouth's selection. It would be the other way around. If we were looking to back Wolves, be thinking, is this really a priority for Wolves? They need to stay up. And Bournemouth, who were 4 to 7 when we backed them 2 weeks ago, and they're 4 to 5.
Only a week ago. Less than a week ago. It was Saturday.
Yeah, it was the Saturday before, wasn't it?
No, it was last Saturday.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, it was because we had a midweek game, didn't we?
Yeah. Everyone away.
Yeah.
Football.
So yeah, in 1 week, that's a massive drift that we got to get on.
Jim Rod? I like it. I think it is.
I'm just a little bit.
If it was a league game, again, like it was, I don't think we'd have too many issues in town.
No, we wouldn't, but it's not. It's an FA Cup game.
Yeah, but
one-off clash. It's a one-off clash. And the thing about Wolves being in a relegation fight, let's be honest, the title's done, the relegation's done. The three that came up are going down. Ipswich couldn't beat Man United with 10 men. They didn't create really anything in the second half. I think Philogene had a shot from outside the box that he whipped near post. So they're not going to get enough points to catch them, and it's sad, but it's true. What a rubbish! Hey, who'd want to get promoted from the championship?
Hey, waste of time. Hey, they think Alex Kebble did it on site. Basically,
Don't bother.
Getting promoted's pointless because you just can't. Nobody has a chance of survival anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to go with the thing because it's a good point about them being bigger than there was in the league. But then obviously it's the cup, so they are going to be bigger than they were in the league. I don't know for a fact what sort of team, if he rotates or not, the Cherries manager. I'm not going to take a punt on his name. But what I will say, the last round against Blackburn, Wolves had Hwang Chan, Cunha, Gomez, and Gonzalo Guedes playing. So he rotated a bit.
It was.
The same thing applies to the strength of squad that Wolves are going to play. Because I've got to be honest, I don't think they're in a relegation fight. They need a few more points, but they're not going to go down. So it's the same thing.
I mean, they 100% are in the. It's not
5 points.
It's not a. They're two different
Bournemouth's
things.
team.
Are they going to be relegated? Is that's a view. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be relegated, but they 100% are in the relegation battle. That is not like an opinion thing. They are in the relegation battle. They're 17th in the Premier League table and a handful of points above third bottom. So they are in the relegation battle.
They're already on the beach, mate.
They're absolutely
They're having a great time. Well, if they're on the beach, then surely they'll won't be bothered about this weekend.
Yeah, South Coast. They got down early.
If
you two like it, I just wanted to.
Bournemouth's team at Everton, yeah, right. Kepa was in goal. Cook, Zabarnyi, Huijsen, and Kirkes. Their actual back four, with obviously Cook playing right back. Yes.
Unbelievable. I'll get it up while you carry on.
Okay, Christie and Adams were in midfield. I think that was their start midfield at Brighton, wasn't it? That Tyler Adams tackle was beautiful. Tavernier, Winterburn, Semenyo was their forward three line, and they had Jebison up front. So there were changes in the forward line department. At the back midfield, it was basically as they do in the Premier League. So he went strong in that round. That was away at a Premier League opponent. This is at home against a Premier League opponent at a later stage. I can't see why he'd rotate too much. And if he does, like I said, the person who's coming back from injury is Evan Nielsen, who's their starting striker. So even if he doesn't start, you imagine him maybe target 45 minutes or something like that. So it's going to be a very strong Bournemouth lineup, whichever they go for.
Get some minutes back in his legs and whatnot.
Exactly. Came off the bench, didn't he, midweek?
And I think we're playing around at the fringes over the prices because Bournemouth have had two really impressive wins already in the FA Cup so far this season. If they just played poor opponents twice, but going to Everton and they just steamrolled them, conceded a late consolation goal, did they? Was it 2-1
It was 2-0 in the end, they won. I think they did concede.
Then, yeah, they've already proved that they're going to take care of one of the weaker opponents in the league, and like Wolves and Everton are probably on a par. So, yeah.
Should we take it? Jimmy, you can open the next segment with a pick. How about that?
Oh, yeah. If you guys want it, I'd have it.
I love Bournemouth. I mean, you wanted them in 2 weeks ago when we went for Villa.
Yeah, and they won. Villa drew, didn't they?
That went well.
Mate.
That went well.
Right, first pick then of this week's Acca. It comes from the solo FA Cup game taking place at 3 p.m. It's a repeat of last week, hopefully with a different outcome. Bournemouth to beat Wolves. Jimmy, I did say there that you could kick off the second section with a potential pick. Well,
you've changed your mind.
Strong-armed you into taking Bournemouth, but no. What you got for us?
Yeah, I haven't really got many solutions this week, or just
Solutions.
Like
The problem.
as in teams to pick. So I'm just going to pick holes in everyone else's. But one that went in this morning, I've been leaning away from it. One that went in this morning, I thought, Borough at 4-6, could we? Potentially. I put it at the top of my list because it's the shortest price, but with the turmoil I've been going through this week, when I originally drafted up all my notes as potential bets, I actually thought about Derby at 9-2. But I was done a complete U-turn. And
that fills me with confidence.
I know, I'm not confident in this pick. I just wanted to throw it out there as one of the most eligible games that potentially Acca-worthy, because we've got 23 games to pick from. That hasn't been said yet. We've only got 23 this week because of the fucking FA Cup. I actually love the competition.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
It's actually the best it's been in a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's annoying for us. I did have this down as a potential because, again, though, I keep falling into the Middlesbrough trap.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they won midweek doesn't help that because I constantly look at them to basically beat anyone at home.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't happen. And then before that Stoke game, it was...
5 straight defeats.
Yeah, and it's also Carrick's now definitely going to go because before that, the talk was, no, they're going to back him. And immediately when you're at that talk, the team's never going to be in a good position, are they?
What?
There is then the win.
Carrick's going to go?
Well...
Oh, you were just saying after the 5 losses, the talk with Carrick's
Yeah, and then they came out and then basically said... Or I think it was after maybe the Watford loss. they were coming out and, through the press and local press, they said, no, we're sticking with him. This is our man. And then they lose at Bristol City. Okay, they're going to change their mind. He's now going to go. Doesn't turn out that way. They turn up at Stoke and win.
Boom.
It's then when you're in that chat, things are clearly not going well. But then they play a Derby side who are awful.
Yeah.
John Eustace has come in.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed.
Yeah.
And they're in a difficult position. But again, maybe there's just too much going on here to go. I just don't want to fall into the
that's what
Middlesbrough, like MK Dons, are just a trap.
I was
just a trap that get you.
I'd mention it because I thought someone will have a strong opinion and be able to say, no, this is going in. But I get the sense that it's very much the same as me, because Eustace, I thought, brilliant. He's going to come in, instant impact, like the Oxford appointment, Rowett.
Yeah.
Not worked out. QPR weren't a 4-0, but they should have won. Millwall deserved to win probably because they missed a pen, but it was a very stodgy game. And the other thing I've just thought of is, Borough under Carrick, they've got a bit of a thing against sides who are going to sit off and make it difficult. Is this... yeah. It's a no from me.
Yeah.
Thank you, but it's a no.
Talks away.
It's an absolute no, isn't it? It's like Tom alluded to there, the pressure on Michael Carrick at the moment. I didn't see it coming, to be honest. Do you know, this big slump, which would be a real shame. I'm pretty confident that he'll turn out to be a good manager. Just seems like he will. But this feels like crunch point now. Unless they string a good few results together, he's probably gone. Steve Gibson really does stick with managers, but this is a major, major drop-off. It's a pretty shit league outside of the top four. Getting in one of those final couple of playoff places should be a doddle if you've got a half-decent team. They should not be down in mid-table. So he is doing a poor job, really.
What?
So,
That's a massive...
Did you see who was sick at one point this weekend?
Bristol City.
Bristol City. The hell are they doing?
City.
They do the top six. You get back. You get back to 9th, 10th, 11th where you belong, please. Get back. Of the shorter prices, because again we haven't got much to go at in terms of the card, as we say, because of the FA Cup. What about AFC Wimbledon to beat Bromley? Could we get more on board with this one?
absolutely.
Wimbledon very, very strong at home. Bromley mixed away. I know they did beat MK Dons last time out on the road, but Wimbledon well into that promotion picture at the top of League Two, which, considering Warsaw's form, it's well on whoever wants the title. On the topic of what the hell are you doing here, Bradford City are second. When the hell did that happen? But they're in a really good form, as are Wimbledon at the moment. They take on a Bromley side who are 10th, technically in that clump of playoff chasers. It's not really going to happen, let's be honest, but for a team who came up via the playoffs from the National League, it's a hell of an achievement to be in the top half at this stage, and you'd probably back them to do so. But yeah, Wimbledon, home, been brilliant all season when they've been able to play there. Obviously had the issues in around October time, didn't they? But a team chasing automatic promotion at home to Bromley, you're getting a price of 4 to 5 on them to win, and that across the entire slate immediately jumped out to me. Jimmy's pulling a face.
I'm scared by this.
Yeah, Jimmy likes Bromley, so I'll let Jimmy.
I have no affiliation to Bromley, none whatsoever. I do really like him though. You'd be correct in saying that.
Bromley's recent form, beaten by Bradford, beat Harrogate, Fleetwood, but they were both at home. Beat MK Dons, who we've spoke about already. There was that remarkable game against
MK Dons are in absolute free fall.
Yeah, they are
McDonald's.
Lost to Grimsby, lost at Chesterfield comfortably, and if you look at their away games, it's 1 win in their last 6. Okay, that did include a game at Newcastle, but they're taking on a Wimbledon side who have won their last 5 in front of their own fans, unbeaten in their last 8, 6 of which have been wins. A lot of those to nil as well, so they're beating teams relatively comfortably. They haven't conceded at home in their last 5 either across that winning run. Just siding with that form team who are obviously going for automatic promotion against a team who the playoffs are still mathematically possible, but it would take a huge effort at this point. It just, to me, on a difficult enough weekend because of the amount of fixtures, something that I'd push to get in.
I agree, mate. So the final point that I put down on my notes for it is I think we have to bite down and take it on the thinness of the slate, because like Wimbledon, 4th in the league, only Bradford and Walsall have taken more points at home. 11 wins, 3 draws, 2 defeats. And you think even with that disruption at home, I mean, they're probably the best home team in the league when you take that out of it. the couple of exceptions, because Bromley, most of their recent good results have come at home. They've still lost 4-1 and 3-0 at Chesterfield and Crewe. So they've been taken apart by better teams in League Two. At that price, we've just got to keep it simple and take it, I think.
You left off a couple of away results against top teams there.
They did draw it. They drew at Notts County and Salford.
Walsall.
But they were thrashed 3-0 at Chesterfield.
Drew
And
at Notts County, Bradford and Walsall, did you just say? They also beat Donny away.
Donny was in October.
No, I'm talking about just recently. Like, recently, they've...
I thought you were talking about away in general.
No, and I'm absolutely not saying that they haven't picked up some good results.
You've just ended their playoff chances, and you just said they're a terrible team, full stop. Jesus.
Hey, they've had a great season.
Can't believe
They
it.
have, to be 10th after winning the National League playoff final again
Little tiny
shows-
Bromley.
shows
Little
the
Bromley, nothing.
ability now to step up from that level, but it's a remarkable season, full stop.
I don't want to move on from Jimmy making up lies as well. Wimbledon's
Saying what I
only
am.
defeats at home this season: Walsall and Grimsby, who are 8th in the table.
And we're on that hilarious
got a
point of just
ra-
winning every away
terrible-
game for no reason.
Sorry, terrific
That's
record against poorer teams at home.
Grimsby don't draw though, so it's also not really fair to use that as a reference.
No, they
They
just
don't draw, so
You're gonna get a result when you play them. Let me tell you that. Should we take it?
no.
Oh,
I really hate it. I really
Why?
hate it. You referenced the problems with the pitch earlier in the season. It's terrible condition now. Andy Woodman hates playing football. Lowest average possession in the league. He's only lost 4 times away from home. He's just so suited to playing away. And I know the slate sucks, but I want to hear more options before
what
we
you got
shoot
for a
on
second?
this.
What you got
Give
for
us
us
another
then?
one then.
I just don't want...
Don't want it to come from
Hey,
me.
I told you, I've got no solutions. I've just got problems with picks.
I've got-
I have actually got one more pick. I really
Come on, if you've
Go on
got,
then,
if you've
give us
got
a
another
pick.
one,
Notts County
I've not
at
seen it.
Fleetwood.
Oh, look,
Wild.
it's 7-4.
It's whopping. It's a whopper.
Huge price.
can I put another one in, because I'm not going to get on board with
Can
that.
I
as the
just do
second
one
pick.
more real quickly just before you do? What about Burton?
Burton.
Why Burton? I know why they're, but Burton are 13-8. If that's not a sign of their incredible run under Gary Bowyer, that is amazing.
This is I've got the shortest bit of copy for this one. Burton turnaround under Gary Bowyer, phenomenal. Look dead and buried, but have now lost just 2 in 12 and won 5 of 8. Mansfield have lost 9, drawn 1 of the last 10 matches. This is just a simple pick.
Simple KISS.
Huh?
Simple stupid.
Oh, kiss. I like it. My only question would have been about the price. 13-8. Did we want a bit bigger on Burton? But I mean,
Mansfield are spiralling out of control. They are spiralling.
would have been good if that was Chesterfield.
Spirites. And they've got the
Spirites, I
crooked
think.
tower.
That's why they're called the Spirites.
Well, we could talk about Spire.
Mansfield are staggering out of control.
Better. Staggering along.
What about this? Mansfield are shit now. Yeah?
That's catchy.
Oh yeah, well done. Mansfield are bad. They're no, I
And
can't deliver it.
Jimmy, as the
Well,
judge,
on my notes,
in execution.
They're brewing
I'll
along
throw
nicely.
to the Burton fan club over there. That's what I've got on my notes because you like Burton. You always talk about them.
I have thought, they'll be good this season because I thought, they're doing the dweeby thing of going to weird countries and getting players. Not weird, but you get my point. Of
You're now slagging off every other country.
yeah, fucking roll Britannia. Remember the good old days. One loss in the last 9, Burton. That is incredible. The turnaround under Gary Bowyer, and it's from dead and buried to wow. Like the League One, relegation race down to League Two or trying to survive looked awful at one point. Looked like it's going to be done after like 35 games and there's no chance. Burton's turnaround. Shrewsbury had a mini revival, which has dropped off slightly. Peterborough's questionable form. You've got other teams like Exeter down there as well who are struggling to pick up results. Mansfield, Rotherham, another team who can get dragged into this. It's not done yet. But that's testament to the form of Burton and their ability to make this interesting because they have been sensational at the moment. And yeah, Mansfield just on a poor run, but particularly away as well, have kind of largely struggled most of the season.
I seen Burton live at the beginning of the month,
Nice.
away at
Wow.
Barnsley, and the on the way to the match, then I was saying to my old man that I actually had a bit of optimism that Barnsley might get a result because Burton's games had been wild, even though they'd been getting points. So they'd won 3-2, 4-2, 2-1 in the 3 matches before. But they just switched it round for playing Barnsley, and they were so well organised. They were brilliant defensively, and since then they've had one exception away at Bristol Rovers. But other than that, they've kept 3 clean sheets in 6 matches, conceded once against Blackpool, who Blackpool have lost 1 game since the beginning of December, so that's like a phenomenal point. So defensively, Bowyer's just snapped them into shape like that, which when you're looking to stay up, that is a phenomenal trait to have. So I'd have a lot of confidence in them on Saturday and just for the rest of the season, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Should we take it? Nice price.
Nice price. Very good for you, my
Should we
friend.
take it?
Yes.
Let's take it. Right then, second pick of this week's Acca, joining Bournemouth to beat Wolves in the FA Cup. It comes from Sky Bet League One. It is Burton Albion to beat Mansfield. I only have one more pick and then I'm out because all of mine have been disregarded.
God.
Would we like a gamble?
I like to gamble.
I like to gamble responsibly.
Bristol Rovers to beat Rotherham at 12-5. At home. I saw a thing on Twitter. There's an account. Apparently Rotherham haven't won away Saturday 3 p.m. since about 1988 or something.
3 p.m. It's over 3 years. I saw that.
They just don't travel well. And
What about draws, though? How many draws they had?
Don't
The
care.
last away win was that one where it came off someone's arse. Do you remember? But that was on a night match. I remember that.
I'm not sure where I stand with Bristol Rovers still, since they've kind of changed up approach slightly. But then you look at the home games, beat Burton, who we just spoke about, drew with Stockport, beat Peterborough, beat Barnsley. Rotherham away have been awful. They lost at Reading, drew with Blackpool, but then Blackpool draw every week, don't they? It seems like. Lost at Birmingham, lost 4-2 to Burton. There was a 0-0 draw with Chesterfield before winning on penalties in whatever the EFL trophy is now. 0-0 draw at Huddersfield. A win at Lincoln, but that was on the 1st of January. Before that, lost at Mansfield, lost at Crawley. Struggled all season. Particularly struggled away. They have won 2 of 16 away games this season, Rotherham. 5 draws, 9 defeats. It's since the managerial change, it's kicked a little bit of life back into Bristol Rovers, who, okay, have lost 2, but those were both away games, 1 at Wycombe, 1 at Northampton. As I said, at home, and even before that, on the 1st of January, which he was still in charge then, wasn't he? Not long into his reign. That was a 3-2 defeat to Leyton Orient, so they ran them quite close as well. Huge odd price. Talking 12-5 on this. That just massively jumps out to me on a battle of 2 teams at the bottom end of League One who have struggled to pick up results, particularly in the case of Rotherham, but Bristol Rovers, that home form since the managerial change has picked up. And considering the other fixtures as well, Peterborough playing Shrewsbury, Burton playing Mansfield that we said there, it's a significant weekend in the League One relegation battle, of which, at the price, I'd be happy to side with Bristol Rovers winning, which would then take them level on points with Saturday's opponents. Big, big price. That's why I am inclined to go for this. Take the risk at the price because you're pushing 5-2 on a home team here.
Wow. Who's the new manager?
Inigo Calderon, I think his name is.
Nailed it.
Brighton. I don't know where he played. Was he fullback, maybe?
He was like a mid-central wing, I think.
I can't remember.
When did he take over?
Back end of December, maybe. I think over the Christmas period.
Really examining you
potentially.
here, isn't he?
No, I just got. I don't know, so it's better to ask.
When's his
innit?
birthday?
He's actually born on March the 18th.
What's his favourite cheese?
I don't know.
What's his star sign?
I don't know whatever March would be.
We need to link that to the moon phase. He might be way off here.
Might be way off. But effectively, yeah, since they've come in, tried to play a little bit of football and stuff like that. Largely positive considering where they were when he did take over. And I will take, in fact, I will investigate exactly when. It was over the Christmas period he took over.
Oh, yeah. I had nothing to say on this game, but I like this a lot. I'm going to be honest. I'm just looking at the results you reeled off. Wrexham, Orient, Barnsley, Posh, Stockport, Burton at home. Only lost 1 of them. That's staggering. And Rotherham seem to be judged odds-wise as this promotion contender. And I know Jake we'll ring back to the XG, and I'm sure if anybody cared to look, their expected points would be way better than they are Rotherham, but they're just not winning, and it's way past that stage of the season where performances are good enough. They need results, and they haven't been getting them for some time.
I think with Rotherham, it's lots of low quality chances, so you can get a misleading. I could be wrong, so it'd be really interesting to hear from anybody who knows more about Rotherham. But the last time that I looked into Rotherham and like read a little bit about them before, I mean they're nowhere near getting into the playoffs now, so they're a bit irrelevant from our purposes.
Imagine backing up.
But them, yeah, they're having loads of shots per game, but really low, XG value per shot, so it can look like you're dominating the XG.
No, I meant about, it's like the bookies are looking too much into that.
That's what I mean. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
So
the pricing's wrong, so surely get against him.
So his results since he's been in charge. Okay, there have been defeats. Stevenage, we'd been there 3 days. Leyton Orient, who we discussed, who were on a really good run of form. They beat Cambridge, lost to Ipswich, Premier League Ipswich in the FA Cup. Beat Barnsley at home. They lost away to Wigan, lost away to Charlton, beat Peterborough at home, drew with Stockport at home, beat Burton at home, and then their 2 defeats, Wickham, who were obviously going for promotion, and Northampton, who again, struggled. But crucially, that was an away game as well. You look at the nature of some of the losses, the context of those losses, and the fact that, they're back at home here gives me a bit of confidence, and it also massively boosts up the price of the Acca hilariously on a jump.
Hilario. I love it.
Well, if I tell you the price of the current Acca is 3.7 to 1, if you add Bristol Rovers in, it pushes 15 to 1.
What is that? Three
teams.
Let's do it then.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I don't.
I mean, you know what I think.
I think we should do it now.
Yeah, I
do it. Yes.
If it was say they were 7 to 4 or something, I'd be a bit more. I'd have more reservations. It just to me
What is it? 21 to 10. 3.1
12 to 5.
I think we're in.
Pushing.
I think we're in like Shrewsbury territory here.
Look what happened then.
I think it's a really good bet. I do still think like then.
It's a rubbish slate. There's not enough games. Let's just do it.
It's worth running through the other ones and coming back to it. I think it's a great bet you've picked out there, though, Tom. Really good looking at it. The only nagging doubt that I have over it is that I mean, you can look at results like any way that you like. That Rotherham are really on the wrong side of very fine margins on the run that they're on, and even you look at the away matches, it's really not terrible. So that is just what makes me a touch uncomfortable. It's been 1 goal margins for all their matches over the past 6 weeks, or a draw. So it's not like that. They've completely fallen to pieces.
Do you know the thing is though?
It's just what really nags at me. And then the other thing is the away matches. So if we go back to the beginning of the year, then winning at Lincoln and drawing at Huddersfield, and Huddersfield are a really good side. They did lose at Burton, as we've already alluded to. Burton are playing really well. Birmingham, they pushed them really close and just lost. Blackpool, they haven't lost since December, lost 1 game since December. And then Reading, a very good home team that they've lost to. They drew at Blackpool. So it's not like they've had a very good run, like an easy run of away matches. They've had a tough schedule. So it does just make me a little bit edgy.
What else we got?
The result.
I'm going to have this, but
Peterborough. The result against Peterborough, I think that's a blueprint, because you got a team underperforming in League One that should be doing better.
Peterborough are in a massive rebuild season this year, so I'd say.
But they started like a house on fire, and I know someone on site who tipped them to win the league, not like 6 months ago. Mid-season.
What we're saying about I think
Rotherham in the same calibre as Peterborough.
I don't think Peterborough and Rotherham are similar. I think similar by name, so we'd look at them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that they ought to both be doing well, but Peterborough sold all their best players in the summer.
They do that every
Wembley still,
and then this is a massive rebuild season for them. Rotherham ought to be doing better. They spent big, didn't they? They've got loads of established players, So I think it's dangerous to
What else?
similar
What else we
teams.
got? I still am going to push for this to go.
I want
in.
that in. The only other options
I need to hear what others.
round it off, so we can say the other options and then agree to go back to Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
Put
Diplomat.
on the gas, if you will.
Good.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
thank you. So I mentioned Notts County 7-4 at Fleetwood. Pete Wild
like
does
it.
cast some doubt over this because he's obviously a brilliant coach at the level, defensive improvements, but we're not at the stage of the season when we know Notts County is just a good team and 7-4 looks a little bit large. That's my bullet points. The only other one I've got, and it's a worse version of Bristol Rovers bet you've just put in because there's less information to go off, but it was the same logic. The boys, they've come in at Cambridge, haven't they? Bonner, Harris.
The lads.
Beat Stockport 2-0. Shall we just back them at 11-5 at Crawley?
I am interested in Cambridge since Harris came back.
I just feel like we're taking a load of punts here.
Yeah, of course we are, because there's only 23 games to choose from.
Yeah,
And I thought
His
it was
name's Jimmy the
brutal.
Punt. What do you expect
yeah,
from
but
him?
we're taking loads of punts.
No, I've got
And,
more to say on them.
Yeah, the possibility of landing a winning Acca off like multiple punts.
I don't know, man. They've turned over Stockport in the most Neil Harris way ever.
Unlikely.
Rid the
Yeah, of course
storm.
it is. Of course it is. But I think I'd rather don't go down swinging on a free fall 15-1, where we've stuck to our principles, and the principles are very wishy-washy. But we've stuck to them.
We've got Bristol Rovers that we're talking about. So we put a pin in that one. Then Wimbledon, that was about to go in.
No, I don't
Then
want
the
Wimbledon.
last moment. You've said that.
No, but I didn't really like...
It's
What
not.
about we
going
put
in,
both
but,
Wimbledon and Bristol Rovers in, and everyone's not truly happy?
Like we're really,
Everybody's misery.
Yeah.
we're really
I like
happy
that.
with that one.
No, but I had
Then-
genuine concerns about going against Bromley, and I said them, and I thought it's a draw central, that game. But obviously I'll go with the diplomatic approach. But I was just joking about Cambridge. Obviously Harris has immediately come in and got a result against one of the best sides in the division, right? They was miles better at defending their own box. The same logic with Burton. He's come in, he's established at the level-ish, Harris, and he immediately improved them defensively to the point of keeping out one of the best sides in the division. Top 6, 100% Stockport, aren't they? As for Crawley, batshit crazy. 58 goals conceded is the joint most in the division. You just don't really know what you're going to get from them. And against this slightly new look used, organised Harris side, are they going to just be able to get a 1-2-0 win? Because as I say, Crawley, their whole thing is crazy games, outscore the opposition. Just look at their results. Absolutely, I can't understate how batshit crazy they are. And against this new organised Cambridge side, I didn't know if it were worth a stab on them. But I prefer the Bristol Rovers shout way more because of their home form. And it's the same theory about the new manager and the uptick.
No, I totally agree about preferring the Bristol Rovers one, but it's not a new manager in the same way. He's been in for 2.5 months compared to 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a lot more to go on with Bristol Rovers.
Same.
So the Wimbledon one, I just feel like that would be. I just think it's absolute insanity to not put that in on a skinny week. Especially at 4-5, we're not talking about putting a 1-2 team in, and then we've pushed ourselves down to put in. I'm not saying it's not a really good bet, it is, but not having that Wimbledon one in, we're really not keeping it simple. The other two that I had, which again they're really dug out, and I just give really quick explanations because, given what we've already discussed, I don't think that they're gonna get in. Doncaster, they've probably come in a little bit short since I made these notes yesterday. Doncaster are 4-9 to beat Newport. I think that they will win that match and probably go off a little bit shorter. Newport have picked up form to pull away from danger, but only by beating Barrow, Morecambe and Carlisle, who are 3 of the worst teams in the league. Doncaster are in great form. They're one of the best teams in the league. Won 7 and lost 3 of the last 10. And their defeats have been against Chesterfield away from home, who have really picked up at home, Grimsby, who are a good team, and Port Vale, another good team. So that is very, very strong form. It all came apart a bit for Newport, who lost their last game 3-0 at home to Cheltenham, who were just an average team in the league. Chesterfield, they've sneakily got the home form together, too late for them because their away form's fallen off a cliff. They've lost 1 of 10 in all competitions at home and won 6 of those. beat Doncaster 5-2 and Bromley 3-0 in the last two. Also beat Wimbledon at home in that run. So those two, for me, stick out as being really good home selections. Crew have completely fallen to pieces. Won against Barrow, first win in 7 in the last game. Only other win across the last 9 was against Morecambe. So they're two of the worst teams in the league. Failed to win at Harrogate and Gillingham. Lost at home to Accrington. Thrashed 3-0 at Wimbledon and Newport. So I do think that there are good selections in there this week. I think that the one that Tom's picked out, Bristol Rovers, is a really, really good bet. I think that AFC Wimbledon to win at home, that he brought first, I can't in good conscience say that one don't go in. It'd go in on a normal week. Never mind a week where we're looking at a skinny... Get
him off.
A skinny coupon. I'm just going to shut up now.
We could. I think Bournemouth and Burton are definitely in. I push for Bristol Rovers.
Are we sure on Bournemouth and Burton, though?
Let's take them out. I push for Bristol Rovers because of the price thing. I think it boosts it. And then if you want to pick one of those League 2 ones that you mentioned there, I mean, Donny's the shortest price of them. That takes it 20s. Chesterfield. In fact, no, I'll go to Wimbledon because that's 26s.
What? Would it be a fourfold?
With a fourfold, this I'm saying. Chesterfield would just shy of 30 to 1.
What if it's a threefold with the two we've got?
Probably known as a treble.
What is... oh, no, you're just splitting hairs. What if it's a Trixie Free Boo team? I'm trying to split. What if it's just with Wimbledon?
No idea. Instead of Bristol Rovers.
Yeah. So
if you have Bournemouth, you have Burton, and you have Wimbledon, it's 7 to 1.
It's not big enough. I much prefer having Bristol Rovers and less jeopardy of the treble fold. Is that correct? Treble fold?
No. Again, no. Treble fold.
Just the thing to go back to Wimbledon. If you two want it in, we're gonna have to get another team. But it's just.
I'm not saying have it with Bristol Rovers.
No, in Bromley. They've only lost 4 times away from home. I just think this stinks of a draw. In fact, after we talked about it, I immediately put it down to dig into for my column. It's just Bromley hate the ball. The pitch is terrible. The price is okay, but it's just more of the tactical nuances of Bromley in town. It just makes me uneasy. And on Crew, I think the shit show in recent form directly correlates with Mickey Dimitriou's injury. And I'm not sure when he's back. He came off against Harrogate.
It'd easily be a draw, that game, doesn't it? I think Crew draw a lot of games, it feels like.
Unbelievable how much they rely on 34-year-old Mickey Dimitriou.
We could just do the treble.
I think stick with the treble.
We could just do the treble. What do you call it? The treble fold.
I can't... I won't be able to stand the message that I would get at 5 p.m. from Jimmy.
I will be in no fit state to text on my phone at 5 p.m. on Saturday. You'll just get a $Z boob. Hey, that's all that needs to be said.
And he'll just know. He'll know as well.
Well, what's the big one? So I'll be back in all them. I think that we've actually dug out between us a really good.
If you wanted those 3 plus your Chesterfield plus your Wimbledon, it's 50 to 1.
Hey shall we?
You just have that.
What about
Cambridge as well?
What about Donny?
With Donny as well.
Yeah, so
I'm Donny,
saying
that Wimbledon, you're going up to 72 to 1. I think we just go for the treble. There's additional ones if you want it as a little pick and mix type thing.
Available on Sporting Life.
There you go. We'll get it priced up. We'll have the treble that we'll take as the actual Acca. Then we will get a longer one if you want to take the other ones that we've discussed there. We'll have them on site as well. Link packaged up in a neat little package for you to get involved in. Treble, threefold. Is this what we're going to settle on?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Bristol Rovers.
I want to get out of here. We've been talking for ages. It's nearly lunchtime, effectively, once that man has done his stupid little TikToks. Threefold, treble, for this week's Acca, then.
Threefold. Jesus, stop saying it.
Threefold.
I love the word threefold. It's so
Makes
stupid.
sense, doesn't it?
Threefold. Treble for this week then. FA Cup, we're taking Bournemouth to beat Wolves. And then in League One, we've got Bristol Rovers to beat Rotherham, Burton to beat Mansfield because of the prices. We only needed 3 teams, and it is 14-1 free boost. We've said so much. We've said so many teams. It is important. Bit of fun. Remember to keep it fun. Please gamble responsibly. Don't go on all of those and go big. Remember to keep it fun. Never bet money forward. Please gamble responsibly. As we teased there, head over to sportinglife.com/football. Around midday Friday, you'll be able to find the link to back the treble. However many teams Joe's going to put in the 100-fold as well. 3-fold, 100-fold. You'll be able to find the link to back those at an enhanced price. And if you haven't already, please follow, rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your chosen podcast provider. We'll be back with a winning 3-fold next week.
Triceratops.